Are you wondering if you're pregnant or about to have your period? It can be really hard to tell sometimes, but your body knows before any test can. Those early days of wondering can feel endless, especially when you're hoping for a positive result or trying to understand what's happening with your body. The truth is, pregnancy symptoms can start appearing just days after conception, long before you miss your period. While pregnancy tests rely on detecting HCG hormone levels that build up over weeks, your body begins changing almost immediately when conception occurs. Conception happens when sperm fertilizes an egg in the fallopian tube, and as that fertilized egg travels down to implant in the uterine lining, your body starts preparing for pregnancy right away. Understanding these early signs can help you recognize pregnancy before any test becomes accurate. These symptoms appear because your body immediately begins redirecting resources and changing hormone levels to support a potential pregnancy. The first sign many women notice is dramatic breast changes that seem to happen overnight. Your breasts may suddenly feel larger, making your regular bras uncomfortable and tight. But size isn't the only change. The breast tissue itself becomes incredibly tender to touch, more so than typical premenstrual sensitivity. This intense tenderness affects the entire breast area and feels distinctly different from period-related breast changes. It's more persistent and covers a broader area of breast tissue. This happens because your body immediately increases blood flow to breast tissue in preparation for potential breastfeeding. Rising progesterone levels after ovulation cause breast tissue to swell and become hypersensitive, creating one of the earliest detectable signs of pregnancy. Another early indicator is persistent abdominal bloating that feels different from digestive bloating or premenstrual symptoms. This is a constant feeling of fullness in your lower abdomen that doesn't fluctuate throughout the day like normal bloating would. This sensation occurs because your body immediately redirects blood flow and resources to your uterus. The uterine lining begins thickening rapidly to create a protective environment for the implanting embryo. This process causes internal swelling and fullness even before HCG levels rise enough for detection. Your body essentially enters protection mode, optimizing conditions for early pregnancy development. Around the second week after conception, you might notice cramping that feels completely different from menstrual cramps. Instead of the familiar wave-like contractions of period cramps, these feel more like stretching sensations or persistent mild aches in your lower abdomen and back. This cramping happens because your uterus begins expanding and stretching to accommodate the growing embryo, even at this microscopic stage. The ligaments supporting your uterus also start stretching, creating mild discomfort. This is often called implantation cramping and occurs as the embryo attaches to the uterine wall. It typically feels like pulling or stretching rather than the contracting pain of menstrual cramps. The fourth early sign is persistent nausea that doesn't necessarily involve vomiting. This isn't typical morning sickness. It's more like constant underlying queasiness that lingers throughout the day. The intensity may vary, but it rarely disappears completely. This nausea results from rapidly changing hormone levels, particularly rising HCG and progesterone. Your body is adjusting to these dramatic hormonal shifts, and your digestive system often responds with sensitivity. This symptom can appear as early as 1 to 2 weeks after conception, well before expected morning sickness begins. The key distinction is that this early nausea feels different from stomach upset. It's persistent queasiness with no obvious external cause. What makes these symptoms particularly meaningful is experiencing them together rather than individually. Each symptom alone might be attributed to other causes. But when several appear simultaneously and feel different from your usual premenstrual symptoms, they create a recognizable pattern. The timing is crucial. These symptoms typically appear within the first 2 weeks after conception, often before your expected period. This is why paying attention to your body's subtle changes can provide insight into potential pregnancy before any test confirms it. Remember that not everyone experiences these symptoms, and some people may have completely different early signs. Bodies are unique, and pregnancy symptoms vary significantly between individuals and even between different pregnancies for the same person. This information is for educational purposes only and should never replace professional medical advice. If you suspect pregnancy, confirm with a healthcare provider and begin appropriate prenatal care. If you found this helpful, subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based content about pregnancy and women's health. Share your experiences with early pregnancy symptoms in the comments below. Did you notice any of these signs, or did you have different early indicators?